Trigger on! Welcome, D-Roll, to the Duckface Diaries. We are a World Trigger read-through podcast aiming to discuss the World Trigger manga volume by volume. I'm Wensleydale, Cheddar.
And I'm HOVIN'S with an H, and this week we'll be tackling Volume 6, which covers chapters 44 to 52, and episodes 22 to 25 of the anime for those watching along. So, Wensleydale, I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a bit of an announcement regarding World Trigger recently. There's a brand new spin-off manga that's been announced, focusing on the members of Aftoprator. And you'll never guess who's the mangaka for it.
I have no idea. Please do tell me. I really don't know what he's doing right now.
It's the aficionado of the scantily clad that we all know and love, Hiro Mashima. But he did it on the grounds that he was able to choose the title, so get yourself hyped for Maiden Zero. I feel like the contrast in outfit and character design between the original World Trigger Aftoprator ones and his, it would be like the difference between Patty Jenkins Amazonians in Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder's Amazonians in Justice League.
Yeah, I guess there's enough common ground there. Both things are in space, and they both have evil cats, I suppose? Anyway, how are you doing?
Okay, I guess. I'm just currently getting to grips with Audition and Adobe Premiere, having finally got some new video editing and audio editing tech for my computer. So yeah, that's all fun.
Nice.
Looking forward to getting into this volume.
Yeah, we are starting Volume 6, so we are starting the big invasion, so once again, if you haven't yet, then tell a friend about the podcast and come along and join us on our read-through. So today's agenda will be a quick recap of Volume 6. So Volume 6 was created by Daisuke Ashihara, translated by Lillian Olsen, letters by Ace Chrisman, designed by Sam Elsway, and edited by Hope Donovan. Then we will move on to our general thoughts, along with our random observations, then move on to Ashihara Comments Corner, Spoiler Corner, and our Q&A section. Let's start with the summary.
So, Trion soldiers arrive, and Mikumo has his class evacuate. He assigns Chika and Natsume to help the evacuation, and Yuma gives Chika a little mini replica to guide her. Back at Border HQ, Sawamura and Shinoda note that the Trion soldiers are splitting their forces and divides the squads accordingly, except for Jin and Amo, who are left to dispatch a whole area each. They launch some traps which hold off the soldiers long enough for Suwa, Suzunari and Azuma squads to arrive on the scene. Yuma warns Osamu that this enemy probably thinks they have a sure chance of success due to them already knowing Border's numbers from the RADs but going through with it regardless. A mysterious new bipedal soldier emerges from the Ilgar corpse and overwhelms Azuma squad, showing off immense physical strength, the ability to deflect ibis bullets, and a chest cavity to capture its prey. Azuma shoots Koarai, forcing a bailout before he can be captured though. Replica identifies it as a new capture-type soldier designed specifically for trigger users, known as a rabbit. The Suwa squad are similarly overwhelmed, and Suwa is taken hostage by one. Luckily, Kazuma squad arrive on the scene to assist them. So, Hisato resists withdrawing, but Kazuma and Utagawa insist that he withdraw and go after the Trion soldiers. Meanwhile, back at the base, we get a bit of a back and forth going, with Netsuki pushing for more men, and Shinoda asking to prioritize rescuing captured team members, and there's a bit of a grilling from Kido and the other board members, where Shinoda cites regrouping squads and avoiding more rabbits being spawned as his reasons for doing this. He suggests that they hold off until the A-rank agents regroup and have the B squads fight off the Ilgars and focus on one area at a time. He wants to prioritize the areas where the evacuations aren't complete, and states that he will go himself if the A-ranks can't take out the rabbits. Meanwhile, Kazuma squad are struggling to make a dent in their target, deducing that it might have some sort of radar in its ears, although, wouldn't that be sonar? He suggests that they focus on where the armor is the thinnest in the meantime. It's cut to an ominous council of shadowy human neighbours, commenting on the invasion's success, referring to Earth as Medan. Their leader, named Captain Hyrain, holds off on any of them entering the battle, due to them having plenty of eggs. I guess he wants to make a scramby before they attack or something? We see more of their personalities. Enadora is an arrogant individual with a superiority complex, and he butts heads with a swishy-haired lad. An elderly neighbour is pretty above all this infighting, and another member of the team is the captain's brother. Their apparent operator, Moira, announces that they are proceeding to the next stage. Hoity. Osamu is almost squashed by a rabbit, but Yuma saves him with his black trigger, throwing caution to the wind as he views the level of danger to be appropriate to pull this one out. This immediately prompts firing on Yuma from Chano's squad, who sees him as the enemy, but they're quickly attacked by another rabbit. Luckily, a Arashiyama squad arrive to save them and clear up the misunderstanding. Just then, a couple of Ilgars fly by and bomb the HQ. The reinforced walls take the blast, but 3 more of them are closing in. Luckily, Tachikawa swoops in and takes 2 of them out, saving the building from sustaining any critical damage. From the incidental comment he makes about the Ilgars, Kitora realizes that it was Yuma who saved her during the earlier attack. Kido only permits Osamu to go and protect Chika when he requests it, since Yuma's black trigger is a valuable asset against the neighbours, and would also create further misunderstandings with the citizens and agents. Kitora offers to accompany Osamu instead, having realised she owes them one. As Shinoda theorises their motives, Hyrain reveals to his subordinates that the motivation of the bombing attack was in fact to confuse Border of their motives.
So cutting over to the C-rank agents, where Chika and Izuho keep working to evacuate the civilians, while the new idiot trio see this crisis as an opportunity to become famous and advance. We get introduced to Ko Murakami, the number 4 attacker, aiming to take on a rabbit by himself, while his teammates from Kuruma Squad meet up with the other B-rank agents. Meanwhile, we see Kazama Squad have defeated theirs and extract the captured Suwa, who has been condensed into the form of a Trine Cube. In the northwest, we see the S-rank agent Armo has demolished the entire area, referring to weak enemies as having boring colours. Jin asks him to take over his area as well, so he can assist in the city, and Armo unwittingly obliges. Introducing themselves to Kitora, Replica notes that the huge amount of Trine soldiers in Aftokrator's attack force doesn't make sense, since the Trine expenditure for rabbits alone would leave the country vulnerable. Kitora argues that, they want to kidnap B-ranks, which is why Shinoda told them to huddle up. But Replica says that Aftokrator knows about bailout, why would they overlook this? They spied on them with rads after all. He also calls into question why they'd bomb the base if they know the risk of creating more black triggers via sacrifice. Strategy talk is, however, interrupted as a rabbit emerges near Chika, so Osamu and Kitora have to come to their rescue. Stomping on the rabbit with her scorpion leg, Kitora proclaims to intend to take care of it herself and leaves Osamu to take care of the accompanying marmot, eager to see his improvements since he fought one at school. Osamu recalls the time when he asked Shiori to program him a simulated marmot to fight, and she used the marmots to write her Super Sentai fanfiction? I'm sorry, I've got to quote this. Crushing power and armor, Yashimaru gold. Swift slashes, sharp body, Yashimaru black. Popular with the ladies. Yashimaru honey brown. Intrigued by Yashimaru black, but doesn't realize the siblings separated at birth. Yashimaru pink.
I love her. She's such a dork.
This preparation allowed him to get used to the logical attack patterns and endure the blows. But it's only after Scruffy Hottie encourages him to imagine fighting back, in the flashback I mean, that he's able to execute his counterattack and strike a blow from above just like Yuma did in chapters 3 and 4. In either chapter 3 or 4. So, yes, good boy, he's getting better thanks to everyone's help, yay! Kitora shoots at the rabbit while jumping in all directions from her spider web in an impressive display of acrobatics, but the Trine soldier blows the web away, flying away with its jetpacks. When it attacks civilians, Kitora loses her cool and lets herself be captured, flashing back to her earlier mistakes with the Ilgar. But then she says, "No, I am not like that anymore. I am an A rank. I said I'd get the job done, so I will." and cuts her leg off for the second time in the series. Kitora can't stop cutting her legs off, Jesus, and stabbing the rabbit in its face before yoinking herself out of its way with Spider. But there's no time to celebrate as Autocrator, yes, I got it right the first time, yay, opens up a gate sending 3 more rabbits to kidnap all the gathered C-rank trainees. So, Hyrain, commander.
If you want to start that again, I have clarified that Hyrain is the captain, so you don't need to say Autocrator again.
I wanna, though.
Okay, do it.
Hyrain, after commander, orders the humanoid neighbors to occupy the A-ranks to divert their attention from the rabbits. Kitora notices their aim shortly before getting cubified, where Chika freezes after once again being told to run and hide while people around her disappear. Izuho is close to sharing Kitora's fate, but recalling Yuma's words, Chika musters up the courage to pick up her friend's rifle and releases a cannon blast, destroying the rabbit that Osamu then finishes off. We close the volume with Osamu informing HQ of the rabbit's goal, as Shinoda sends Border's most powerful squad to aid him. Scruffy Hottie, Composed Beefcake, and Konami. Alright, let's get to the general thoughts.
Yeah, this volume is a very good example of how to do faceless mooks without them feeling like filler, by just giving them a very clear-cut purpose that plays into the Puppet Master's goals. I really liked how the Treon soldiers were utilised in this volume, and how the flow of the battle unfolds so far.
This is a really great point on the rabbits. I thought this was a really tense volume overall, and each reread I love it more and more. So, we're currently experiencing 2 big all-out wars in One Piece and My Hero Academia, and for how much I like those series, this volume reminds me that, although it has certain faults, I still think that no one does this like Ashihara. He knows exactly when to be clinical, steering your interest with the strategy and the intrigue about the unusual nature of this invasion, and keeping track of who does what and where. But he also knows how to make those big emotional payoffs hit, like with Osamu's, Chika's, and Kitora's big scenes. It's also interesting, so speaking of mooks, that some of the emotional core of the story is B-rank characters that we haven't met before, like Sasamori from Sewer Squad. Reading it for the first time, I must admit that the B-ranks mostly blended together for me. In hindsight, it might have not been such a good choice to put so much focus on them so early on, but when you get to know them, these moments really hit so well.
Yeah, like, having seen more of certain members, particularly like Sewer Squad, in the future, minor spoilers of that, there is more of them in the future, it is much easier to digest who they are and their place in the battle here. I'm slightly undercutting one of the points you made earlier, but I actually had a bit of a moment where it was kind of unclear if all of the B-rank squads were in the same location. Luckily, Sawamura explained it, so I'll say, like, it is made clear where people are, but you do need to pay attention to the exposition to be clear on that. Yeah, I guess another slight issue I had with the art is initially, and this was it kind of got better as it went. Like, initially I was sort of not sure about Chika's freak out, it seemed a bit cartoonish, but then when they returned to it with her, like, it intensifying more with Isuho getting captured, it was like, okay, you're kind of setting up these emotions and then leaning them to them more in a later panel, so it works.
Right, I never got that, comedic touch until after the shot, when she kind of realizes that I've just demolished this fucking Trion soldier and collapses onto the ground.
I guess comedic isn't necessarily the way I'd put it, but, like, initially, like, in the first panel where she's kind of panicking, she's drawn in a very simplified, sort of soft way, whereas when it cuts to the close-up with Izuho getting captured, you see more of the panic registered on her face, and it comes off a lot more serious.
Oh, I see.
But this volume is a huge step forward for both Osamu and Chika.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the first, like, full-on Treon soldier that they've managed to beat, and it's a big deal for them, but it still leaves them a long way to go, because there's still, there are still both agents and Aftokrator players that are well above their skill level to work towards.
Yeah, Chica still just forgets that, you have to destroy the core to destroy the Trion Soldier, and Osama only remembers it afterwards, while obviously he wouldn't be able to defeat one himself. Yeah, as we've said previously, just to touch upon all the B rank stuff. As we've said in the previous podcast, spreading the focus on so many individual soldiers and the collective tactical maneuvers makes the world feel so much more alive, as it doesn't only revolve around Osama. And for how much he and Chica advanced during this volume, I really like that. So overall, I think that Ashihara's approach has more advantages than drawbacks, even if
for sure
it's not maybe very easy to draw readers in at first.
One detail that I found very interesting is the sporadic creation of black triggers in a pinch being a factor in invasions.
Yeah.
Because this kind of essentially feels like Ashihara writing in a very clear plot reason why, even in high-stakes arcs like this, the action still has to be very calculated and careful, and it can't be too purely emotion-driven.
One replica points that if you kill the enemy, you risk creating a new black trigger. So it's kind of an in-universe excuse for not having a lot of death, even in a battle-driven series, even in a serious high-stakes arc. So yeah, as you've said, I like that. This volume also establishes the power ceiling nicely, with S ranks able to cover 2 areas of the city individually, while the rest of the agents are struggling with...
Well, actually, Jin isn't technically an S rank anymore, but no, I get what you mean. He's S rank level.
Oh, technically. It's also very interesting. Like, the 2 of them cover these huge 2 areas individually, while the rest of the agents are struggling with the rabbits. And it's also interesting that Jin, without Fujin, is able to take care of the West himself. So is his technique really that strong without it?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, how much is Tachikawa... How close is he to getting an S-rank spot if he's very much on par with Jin, if you don't factor in the Fujin? I liked the way that the tactical meetings are handled as an aside to the battle. It very much centres the conflict on Border and their point of view, and it's good to get the perspectives in the field and also have the operation room where all of the directors are debating what the best approach is.
I like that. I like Kazama's squad's dynamic in this regarding the interactions with Sewer Squad. So Kazama is just a very matter-of-fact, okay, if you're going to battle with this rabbit, you will die. Your death will be in vain. Then Utagawa is just very kind and caring, promising that, oh no, that they will rescue Sewer Squad, you don't need to worry. And Kikuchihara is just a complete rude fucking bastard to Sasamori.
That's a dickhead.
The operator is a bit boring. She's kind of just a clone of Kazama, so okay, can't have everything.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a million different operators in each squad, they can't all be winners. No, that came off wrong. When you've got a million different operators across the squads, rather. Kido strong-arming Yuma with the use of his black trigger is a very interesting one, and very much dodging the question when Yuma's like, if I hadn't used it, would you still let me be with Osamu? I think he's the character that, because he has such a cold and guarded nature to him, it allows the story to slowly drip feed moments of characterization to us as it goes along.
So speaking of the Border HQ staff, I'm really impressed by badass men making badass boasts in manga, but Shinoda's "in that case, I'll go myself." That hit really hard.
It shows that he has a big commitment to keeping people safe, and that is what he's about, and he will take full responsibility, which is cool. It's unclear if the Rads can merely act as beacons or outright summon portals. It seems like the latter when they're summoning a bunch of rabbits.
I think a rabbit did that in the fight against the Ilgar with Kitora and Yuma. I wasn't really too big on Hyrain and Rambanine's designs from the Afra bunch. I know that they're having like a blue Oni and red Oni motif to them, but
yeah, it doesn't really come across in black and white, and they do have a very similar design.
Yeah, I wish the hair was just a different shade of grey, or they had different shaped hair.
I mean, with my Eden Zero comment earlier, like, maybe it was more appropriate to get Ryogo Narita to write the spin-off and have it be after.
Perfect. I like the moment with Kitora realizing it was Yuma who'd saved her. I didn't think it would matter at this point, but I guess it's a nice human moment for her, and it gives her some context to her deciding to repay her debts and escort Osamu.
I think on a more minor note, the three new idiots make for some great comedic asides. With one of them just saying in a really confident way, just like, "Oh, if we preserve our lives, that would be good for the squad." I'm like, "Oh, you're a genius! You're the best captain ever!" And I'm like, he's just saying we should probably retreat, guys. It's not that deep. Although the first time I read that scene, I thought they were Chano Squad, because it's like, okay, they're kind of antagonistic, and one of them has a hat.
I don't remember if that was from Border's briefing file or some other materials, but I think I recall someone mentioning that Chano was trans.
Both members? Oh, Chano is a member of the squad, of course. Is the Border briefing file like a data book? Or
yeah, I think so.
See, well, maybe we can see if we can get our hands on that in a later episode, or some kind of fan translation of it.
Yeah, we should do an episode on it one of these days. From the standout panels, I really like the Chapter 7 cover. It's a collage of reused images, but it's very striking, and apparently...
Yes, I was going to mention this.
Apparently Ashihara drew this while his hand was broken, so yikes.
Jeez, dude. I also really love I think it's the lead-in to that one. It's one of the colour spread lead-ins where it's showing different scenes of progression, of story progression with like the chapter marker.
Yeah.
And it also shows Jin meeting Osamu for the first time as Zero, which is an interesting choice, but I guess so you can differentiate the panels.
I guess that there were some one-shots before, including like talented elite Jin. Okay, another standout comedic panel. So when Osamu and Kitora arrive to save the C ranks, they say, "It's Kitora from Arashiyama Squad, and the glasses guy who got beat up by Midorikawa."
Yeah, it was a nice little line. Oh yeah, here's another observation. If the rabbits turn people into cubes, does that mean Viz translator Caleb Cook has been eaten by one?
I don't think he translated World Trigger at the time, but
General Viz. Okay, translator for many series in Viz. Caleb Cook.
Okay.
Also, you're missing my he's CD cubed.
Okay, CD cubed on Twitter. All right. Fair enough. I think you still have to explain it to the listeners, so I don't know why you're blaming me. Anywho, I like the little moment of when Izuho gets captured by the rabbit. She releases the evil kitty from Afra as she gets captured by the rabbit. I also like the detail of Kinuta fortifying HQ wall after Chika blows it up.
I never thought of that as being a response to it, but yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I don't have many other notes besides Osamu is such a huge dork. Please give her a Sentai series spin-off with her custom-built Marmods.
Yes, or at least an Omake chapter, please. Shiori is great. Shall we get to the Ashihara Comments Corner?
Let's do it. The first one is I really like that Azuma Squad is basically just a dude in his 20s and a bunch of kids he's taken under his wing.
Yeah, and apparently Azuma is really a fucking old man since he likes fishing and camping. So it seems that we were right on the nose with the old man voice last podcast. So, speaking of B ranks, like, for how boisterous and cool they seem, Suwa squads are really actually well read, I believe that is the twist. So, Suwa likes detective novels, Daiichi likes historical novels, Sasamori likes manga, and Kosano likes foreign novels.
They are truly nerd jocks. I love the fact that Suwa is still a cube in his bio.
Oh god. One of the regular polyhedrons, a solid surrounded on 6 sides by a square.
I mean, we do get a little bit of, not necessarily slap around, but Osamu jokes with, Osamu breaking into a cold sweat is like ketchup on omelette rice. Brackets, his glasses are the eggs. It's a bit of an egg motif of this volume, really.
Yeah. Although, just in reference to that last volume, we got the comment from, I believe, that saw Trine soldiers and eggs, so that's what's that a reference to. Okudera and Koarai might have been from the same football team in school, since they both like it and are both the same age. Apparently, Chano's squad are a media darling in training to become the successors to Arashiyama.
Yeah, that was an interesting touch. The fact that even when he's got like a very successful thing going, Netsuki also has like not necessarily replacements, but other wings of the PR squads in development.
Soldiers can die all the time in missions, so it's always good to have a plan B. Arashiyama is a dog person. It kind of seems obvious when you think about it, but I've never given it much thought.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, the one that really surprised me is Murakami's only 18. What? I always assumed he was in like his early 20s.
Okay. I always assumed he was a teenager since he was mentored by Arafune. And how old is Arafune?
I don't know. He looks a lot like Grail 9's old Duckface.
That's true. Okay. So sometimes Ashihara just strangely draws attention to the fact that his cast's a bit of a sausage fest. Sometimes, like in the double page spread poster, there are no women on the right side. Okay.
Well, maybe it's actually a subliminal hint, because you'll also notice that the Conserva Squad members are only on the right side, so maybe he's actually saying all ladies in World Trigger are, if not leftists, a member of the General Democrats.
Oh, okay. That's good. Right. Fucking forgot Conserva Squad. All right. Well, we get some details about the teleporter trigger. Apparently, the try consumed and the cooldown time of it depend on the distance you teleport.
I've very much forgotten most uses of teleport in the series, aside from the one what we've covered. So I'll be interested to see if there is a particular fighter who very much relies on the teleporting quickly as their sort of their ace, their trick.
That's true. Not a lot of B ranks do that. Yeah.
There's the rejected storyboard of this one, again from chapter 4, and it's interesting that he lifts the visuals from a Bin to Jin attack onto Tachikawa in these chapters.
There's a lot of Jin early on.
I guess he's very much downplaying his role compared to the initial one shot, which it's fair enough. He likes to have his characters delegate a lot with what his characters do more.
Speaking of Jin, the extent of how far he can see into the future depends on how certain the future is. It'll be interesting to read the rest of his predictions while knowing that.
So the Jump Festa welcome board, man. Ashihara really wanted to push Kitora in the volume comments. He's clearly very much a fan of this character he's made, and I guess it's a shame that the fandom in Japan, or the readership, never seemed to really share that fondness.
It's criminal. She's a great character. I don't know why people at Jump Festa were disappointed by Kitora welcoming them.
Also, Sawamura x Shinoda is an interesting pairing.
Yeah, I guess there's quite an age difference, but yeah, I guess they're both adults, so And Shinoda's a tiger, Netsuki's a fox, Kinuta's a tanuki, so what are Karasawa, Kido, Sawamura, and Rindo? Karasawa kind of seems like a crane, but then again, a crane doesn't seem to be an animal that would play rugby in college.
Rindo is an armadillo.
Armadillo. Interesting.
Sawamura, a cat?
I guess. Kido would be a snake, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. Kido seems like some large reptile of some sort. Maybe Tsutsumi, using Suwa as a Pokemon summoned from the cube, can be the opponent to Shiore's Sentai Squad in the spin-off.
Oh yeah, I would love that idea. I also love the subtitle that Amo gets in the profiles. Amo, let's put an empty lot here.
I'm interested. Like Netsuki's PR department must have been doing the bulk of their work, like trying to frame Amo as like, oh no, don't worry, he's totally safe, guys, to the citizens.
That's true.
That's all of the Comments Corner stuff I have. Do you have any more?
No. Let's transition into Spoiler Corner.
Okay, so I have a few things for this. So I sort of hope that when Border finally confront Afto on their home turf and they're doing, like, the debate, that they're, like, talking to one another, I kind of hope they lampshade how silly the bird metaphors are. It's like, I see the crows have come in to roost. You really don't have to do that. We're human beings. Can you stop?
So many eggs. We have so many eggs, guys. So, Fuyushima, the second-rank captain, has been kind of shrouded in mystery, but we know that he's been working with Kinuta and traps that were used during the invasion. So I wonder if now that Osama has become a trapper, if he's going to turn to him for advice before the away mission tests.
The idea that Tamakoma 1 are Border's most powerful squad is notable. I'm not really sure. This might not be a spoiler thing, because I don't really have any... I don't know, why did I put this in Spoiler Corner? Anyway, I'll talk about it. Because I don't know, I've not really seen much to justify that. Like, I guess they're very good at teamwork compared to the other high-ranking squads with a lot of aces in them.
I think I have... okay, so at first in Volume 3, we saw that like the Conserver squad was really afraid of them. Like they didn't want to confront them outright, and then again, we also learn later on that they have tech that they have neighbor tech and are able to use it in battle, and for this reason they are kind of also A rank, but not really. They don't participate in the rank wars, and
yeah, I can also see how having their own training room just in their little mini base off to the side, instead of having to like work around the schedule of Border HQ, could probably give them a bit of an edge. So, I don't remember if this has been clarified or not, if Ammo or Jin are going to be the sort of S-rank. Again, Jin isn't technically S-rank anymore, but he's on that power level. Which one has been confirmed for the away mission, if any? I think that might be an interesting point to put. It's an interesting one, because Jin has more of a personal connection to the main characters, but the away mission could also be, like, a great way to finally flesh out Ammo a bit more.
It really depends whether they're, like, going to come back to Earth or not, or if, After is going to be the end point of the series. I have a few things. So, Ko is very protective of Kuruma, and to this day, we haven't seen why Suzunari 1 is so loyal to its captain, who is kind of like Osamu. He's admittedly weak, but kind of clever. So what we saw of his backstory with Arafune is nice, but it makes me think that there might be more to Suzunari branch in store for future storylines. Yeah. So I'd love to see where this is going.
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, I just don't know when it would happen, given that we're not too far off from going into space. That about covers it, so shall we get to the Q&As?
Yes, let's do it.
So, Sharp Attack, at FGC Sharp on Twitter, says, question 1, best fight of the Afto invasion arc. What do you think?
So, okay, I don't want to go too in-depth on this, because we are about to cover these in the upcoming episodes, but I think the one that sticks in my head as being the most fun from a technical standpoint is the group fight against Ranba 9. I especially enjoyed the finisher on that one.
Did you enjoy the finisher in the anime where they just keep screaming?
That was very silly. Yeah, and then I think like the best handled in the anime would probably be Yuma versus the old one that I forgot the name of. Visa, I think? Yeah, Visa, yeah.
Visa, yeah. That's his name. And I'm gonna go with Anadora versus Kazama and Super Squads. It was a clever use of the training room, and Anadora is an atypical fighter to World Trigger. We also get the culmination of Kikuchihara's and Hisato's character arcs, which I really liked. So yeah.
Okay, and then the second question from Sharp Attack is biggest jobber of the arc. So I think in a lot of shonen discourse, the idea of a jobber is a bit oversimplified.
I think you need to explain more what that means to me, because I mostly know it from your friend, Queen Jobber, the best jobber, obviously.
Yes. Shout out to Emily. But yeah, no, the
Shout out to Ems.
So, yeah, the idea of a jobber, it comes from wrestling, and it essentially means a character who is beaten to make other characters look strong. And I feel like a lot of the time when people discuss it in a shonen anime, they're just like, oh man, he jobbed so hard, what a weakling. Characters that become kind of a running joke, like Renji from Bleach, or Yamcha from Dragon Ball. I think, there's a very good video on this by MathWiz, called The Search for the Ultimate Jobber, that I recommend checking out. Where basically it's just like, it really depends how they're used in the story. Like, not everyone needs to be a strong fighter for the story to work. But now that little rambler's out of the way, I guess I'd put Kitora in this, just because her jobbing is a pretty big deal for Osamu and Chika. Like, they're left alone, where the one kind of high-ranking figure that was taking care of them during this whole battle is gone now. That's a pretty big deal. So yeah.
Kitora serves that role really nicely, and Suwa also does that in this volume. Yeah, I liked both of those a lot, given the role. Okay, so let's get to a question by Randall55. Yay! Okay, which team-ups would you like to see? I'd like to see Izuho Natsume and Chika, Koen Osamu, Yuma and Kagayura.
Okay, so in past episodes I'd already gone through how it would be kind of cool to have Osamu and Shinomiya team up.
Ninomiya.
Osamu and Chef Ninomiya team up. But I think to go through some other ones that I've thought of recently, scrolls a bit. I think someone with a more advanced or technically complicated ability, like any of the aces in A and B squad, could pair really well with a more resourceful but simplistic fighter, such as the rookies in Kakizaki squad, like Tomoe and Teruya. I think Katori and Ikoma would just be hilarious. Just compare this, like, absolute better-than-thou sort of superiority complex character with just this naturally really good goofball.
Oh my god, both Katori and Kitora are anagrams for each other, and they both have superiority complexes. Huh.
And then, I think if Afto and Border Droid forces, Shiori and Moira trying to team up, pull together their operator efforts would also be really funny. Because you've just got, like, the goofy dork who's, like, got all her catchphrases and stuff, and then you've just got, like, this stone-cold sort of clinical operator who just wants the bottom line.
So speaking of Shiori, I want desperately to be a team with Osamu, Shiori, Kodera, and Wakamura from Katori Squad, to have the ultimate team glasses. Am I missing another character with glasses?
Perhaps.
Okay. I think that there's like a...
I am not exactly an encyclopedia on World Trigger characters. I need to, like, Wikipedia all of this whenever I answer these questions.
Oh! Jin also has glasses. Okay.
There we go.
And I would like Team Bullets with Ninomiya, Nasu, and Izumi.
Yes. Randall also asks... Sorry, fave Trion soldier type. I like the rabbit.
Okay, so obviously the only correct answer is the Trine Soldier from the filler arc. Not gonna spoil, but...
We'll get to that, eventually, maybe. I feel like the rabbit is the very obvious one because it's just got a lot of versatility to it, but I'm gonna stick up for the rads. I like those little buggers.
I'm gonna go with replica. I don't know if it's exactly a Trion soldier type. If there are a lot of those chaperone types of Trion soldiers, I just really like the character and the dynamic overall. I don't know. Replica just endeared themselves to.
There is easily the most going for replica from he is the only one that is an actual character. Although, we can change that if I make my brand new AU the Rad AU, where everyone in Border gets transplanted into a Rad and has to continue functioning.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there. Although you could also just watch the Abridged series, where all the Trion soldiers have personalities.
And you can pledge to patreon.com/Wensleydale Cheddar to make sure that more of that comes out.
Yes, to help us provide it. It's a goal. Okay, enough. Enough chilling. There'll be plenty of time for that later. The other question that we got is our first email. So Anna asks, imagine the Conserver Squad as members of the YouTube Skeptic community and Tamakoma branch as breadtubers. Who would each character be? Can you explain what the YouTube Skeptic community and breadtubers are?
Okay, so the YouTube Skeptic community are very right-leaning YouTubers who focus on attacking the perceived logical loopholes in various left-wing feminist speakers, movies with or art with progressive subtext to it. Also, they basically there to make very right-skewing rebuttals to things. And the BreadTube community are very much the left wing of YouTube analytical content. I know significantly more about the latter than the former. So this has very much been a shot in the dark for me, but I'll do my best. So I guess we'll each give our Conserver Squad skeptics list first, and then give our BreadTube Tamakoma ones. So I put Kazama as Ben Shapiro.
That's a good choice. Oh my god. We might have had Kazama's voice wrong. Can you do a Ben Shapiro voice?
Let's say, hypothetically, you wanted to win a match. You'd have to have better skills than what you've got, Kazama.
Perfect.
Kido, I was, I don't know if Kido really counts, or if we're counting the executives, but I put them on here anyway. And I've also...
Oh, yeah. Kido is Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's obvious.
Twinsies! Because, he's like the spearhead of it all. I put Izumi as the golden one because he's the blonde one.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Fuyushima would also work since he's pretty buff.
Yeah.
But also his hairstyle and the beard also make me think of the Amazing Atheist. So.
See, I put Kinuta as the Amazing Atheist. So me being a bit rude. But oh well.
Kinuta would maybe be Matt Forney. I don't know.
Again, you have a much more extensive knowledge of the skeptic community than I do. I put Miwa as Paul Joseph Watson. It's like, these leftists, and they're trying to ruin art by putting neighbours in it.
Oh my god, you made me imagine Paul Joseph Watson in the role of Zuko.
I want my honour restored!
I put Toma as Steven Crowder. The hairstyles and general demeanor are kind of similar. And I put Tachikawa as either Jontron or Sargon of Akkad.
See, I put either Mauler or Thunderfoot. Yeah, I just went Thunderfoot because of the stubble. I don't really have much justification for Mauler. Just I guess I should give him one.
Kunichika, I put as the operator for Tachikawa Squad. I put as Lauren Southern, and I think that's it for me.
I put Netsuki as Davis Orini.
Ooh, okay.
Both kind of weaselly.
Yeah, that's good.
And Kikuchi Hara is ER because he's literally the worst and the most dickish, and it just mocks everyone harshly.
I don't even know who
ER.
is.
You're maybe better off not knowing who ER. Okay, but basic. Okay, I should probably clarify. So ER is he's most known for, I think, for his Legend of Horror series, where he talks about how much he's one of those many YouTubers who made a big 3 hours of shitting on Legend of Horror video essays. And
oh god,
yeah, he's not nice.
Oh, okay, so for the Tamakoma bread tubers, I've put Konami as ContraPoints. I don't know whether you agree.
Yeah, I was torn whether to put Shiori or Konami as ContraPoints. Either works. I guess Konami is kind of fits into like the dumb bitch energy thing that ContraPoints sometimes plays towards.
Oh, she's totally a Libra.
The other one gets to be Sarah Z, I guess. Does Lindsay Ellis count?
I think Lindsay Ellis would be Shiori, and Sarah Z would be Chica.
No, see, I put Chica as H Bomber Girl because Demolition. And her Defense of Dark Souls 2 video is much more meek and apologetic than the actual one. I like this game and you're all bullying it. So, I couldn't decide if Jin or Rindo would be Philosophy Tube.
You see, I've put Ollie as Scruffy Hottie.
Fair enough. I never managed to find one for Scruffy Hottie, so that would work.
And I've put Sean as Composed Beefcake because he's composed and apparently he's tall.
Yep, same. Twinsies. I put Yuma is Jack Saint because he's kind of like their version of ER. He's always finding loopholes in what the alt-writers are saying and mocking and making fun of them in a very blunt way.
Interesting. I've put Yuma as Big Joe and Osamu as Jack Saint.
Ah, okay. I was a bit mean on both Osamu and the person I put as Osamu. Have you heard of Quinton Reviews?
No.
Quinton, okay. So he's a weird hanger-on of the community in that he's never quite blown up, but he's got moderate success. And he has a bit of an inferiority complex with regards to how he's fitting in, so I feel a bit mean for saying that, but also I'm not very much of a fan of Quinton Review's content, so it's like, okay, I do have my sympathies for him, and just like he's struggling to make it work, but yeah.
Why do you hate on Osamu?
Osamu, I'm not a big fan of your videos, they're very meandering, sorry.
I don't have a pick for Jin, though. And Rindo. Oh, Rindo would be Dan Olsen.
Dan Olsen, yeah, that works. And yeah, I think that covers everything that I've got.
Maybe Ollie would be Yotaro, but because of his ties to royalty. Anyway, never mind.
And also, he sits on he rides a mammal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if Yotaro wants to fuck the queen, but okay. Anyway.
At his age, I'd hope not.
All right, shall we round up?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, that is going to do it for the 6th episode of Duckface Diaries. You can listen to us on so many podcast hosting sites, on anchor.fm/Wensleydale Cheddar, on youtube.com/c/Wensleydale Cheddar, on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Play FM, Podbay, Castro, Listen Notes. I can't say those without taking a breath. If you want to find your preferred site, you can always go to anchor.fm/Wensleydale Cheddar or youtube.com/c/Wensleydale Cheddar, since that's where all the links are. Remember that, much like the neighborhood, the YouTube algorithm is a dark abyss of sorrows and woes from which videos like these never resurface. And what helps us navigate is subscribing, liking, and sharing the podcast with a friend. There you get access to not only Duckface Diaries, but Manga Mosaic, a collection of podcasts and video essays on Jumpstart, manga, and more, including World Trigger.
And also, please follow our sister show, HOVIN'S Hideaway, hosted by yours truly, where we talk about a variety of media, mainly manga. I've got a new episode in the edit right now. It'll be a bit of a race to see which one of us gets it finished first, I guess. But yeah.
I stammered a bit I stammered a lot in your podcast. You stammered a bit in this podcast, so
I guess we're even. And yeah, we've also done some episodes on Kaiju number 8 and Shonen Jump movie tie-ins recently, if you want to give those a look-see. Kaiju number 8, I very much approached as a should you read this kind of thing with the discussion. So if you haven't read it yet, it should be pretty accessible to you.
Both are really great podcasts, so go check them out. And if you'd like to help me upload these on a regular basis, consider supporting me on patreon.com/Wensleydale Cheddar. In return for your support, you get access to rewards such as, at the $1 tier, a shout-out and your name in the credits, and the $3 tier, requesting a short series to be covered on the Manga Mosaic podcast, at the $6 tier, a World Trigger Duckface avatar, at the $12 tier, access to the show notes, and at the $25 tier, requesting a series to be covered on a long-form video essay. High-level contributors get access to manga threads for series from the Shonen Jump Vault I'm reading for the very first time, including my first impressions on the chapters and standout panels. Help me reach goals such as reviving World Trigger Abridged or more manga video essays. Now patrons can vote on the subject of the video essay every time we hit a milestone, which is a new thing, and just to give you a tease of what you can vote on, one of these is titled Samurai 8, the Jordan Peterson of manga.
Brilliant.
Send us emails, questions, comments, suggestions at wensleydale012@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at Duckface Diaries or individual Twitters at WensleyCheddar and at Hovin with an H. A sincere thank you to Milo Jack Stillitz, who composed our new ending theme, an orchestral rendition of Giri Giri, the first opening sequence for World Trigger. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/MiloJackStillitz. Usually we like the ending music to play along with the outro, but today you're getting a special treat, as we're going to play it in full at the end of the show.
Next time we'll be covering Volume 7, which is chapters 53 to 61, and that in the anime is the rest of episode 25 to episode 28. And once again, it's running over the content we cover a little, so, in that last episode, so adjust as you will.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening, and this was the 6th episode of Duckface Diaries, and as always, it's time to bugger off!